So a really strong drive so far. Still not quite over yet. Still an hour and 11 minutes, and it will be a case of just pushing on. They're currently 992 AM leaders, but second overall. So there'll be, you know, at if it stays the way it is now, there'll be 2 podium presentations for the RPM team. And just looking at the gap between, they've got 4 laps back to the Sebelju Racing Porsche. Stefan Perrin at the wheel of the 888 numbered car, now in 3rd place overall in 992, but second in AM. And if anything, if we talked about that car early on, very much early on, as the 901 is back into the race, Fabien Dufiot, the Ajith Kumar Racing Red Ant car back in the race, and that has had a full gearbox renewed, hasn't it?
Amazing. That, I mean, how quick they got that job done, to get the gearbox replaced and to, you know, get back out on track within an hour. Quite remarkable work from the Red Ant Racing crew that run the Ajith Kumar Racing machine for Ajith Kumar, Fabien Dufiot and Mathieu Detry. And they've been busy in the pits, Red On. It seems like, well, you know, we've had it almost a lap apart, where they service the GT3 car, and then soon after that the Cup car comes in. So they've been kept very, very busy indeed. Yeah, that's not deliberate though, is it? It's just the way that they're gonna, it's gonna pan out. That car was in for gearbox renewal. They had one on the truck, which was, remember we were saying, Peter, well, if they've got one on the truck, they should put it on the car. There was, I can't remember how many hours were left to go. Was it 3.5 or something? Oh, more than that.
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting 5th in AM right now, but they're only got a couple of laps up to the Scuderia Faron machine. So there's, you know, they could still pick up a few extra points in the AM Championship. Still plenty to be played for. It's Mathieu Detry at the wheel. That's just triggered the new driver. Looking at the 901, so it isn't who we thought it was. It's Mathieu Detry. Yeah, so that was just it was Fabien, didn't I? There. Yeah, that's adjusted itself. Nick Johnson, he's also gone. He's got the visor down as well, and the very thick visor strip too. So actually, his vision out of the visor is pretty limited. It's like looking through. It's almost like a touring car helmet, where he's got almost like looking through a letterbox. The idea is to try and block that low sun away. And I would imagine once the sun goes beyond the horizon, that visor will go straight back up again. One driver I always think who has a completely unique way of having his helmet visor is Nicky Katzberg. He has it like almost all the way up and round, almost like an astronaut. It's like almost right up to the top of his head. His teammates called it the Katzberg full crack, which is, and you have the cool guy half crack, which is what the factory drivers go for apparently. I see. And then there's the Katzberg full crack. Really do slow the car down through those the 2 final kinks before the Del Caro hairpin. Nick Johnson not hanging about, but not taking any chances, driving very smoothly in that number 907, currently second in 992. That's a great run. Yeah, heads across the line. Great stuff from all of that team. All of the drivers, all 3 drivers in that one. Starts another lap. He's got a gap of 30 seconds or so to... No, he hasn't. 30 seconds or so to catch the Ferrari in GT3. However, he's got... how many laps is that? 57, 6 laps. So he's got 6 laps to gain to get anywhere near the Van Berlos. What a drive that's been for them. Oh, they've been 6 lap. That's been metronomic. 7th overall at the moment. Yeah, they've been immense. And you know, it's not as if it's been, you know, Kai and Glenn just going back and forward, and their father Marcel's only had a single stint. He's done at least 3 stints in the car, which so he's taken his fair share for sure. They've been flawless, and Baz Kooten Racing, who run the car for them,
They were on top of the required brake changes. They'd seen through the early running in the week that they were going to need to do them in the race on more than one occasion, and they've been right on top of that. And that's if that had come as a surprise to them, that could have been a big panic and a problem. So they've been on top of that. The very, very experienced Baz Kutten Racing crew. Now the gap at the front of the field it's just under a lap, actually. It's 1 minute and 17 seconds between Mathis Lismont and Klaus Bachler. Now, at the moment, that you would have, what do we have? We have 1 hour and 5 minutes left, which is in laps, 40 laps, something like that. So Bachler would need to be 2 seconds a lap faster, all being equal on pit stops and things like that. He would need to be 2 seconds a lap faster to run that down. It's 1 minute and 17 seconds, actually, to be precise. So
8 tenths slower last time by. 8 tenths faster for Bachler.
Bachler was faster by 8 tenths, exactly. Yeah. So at that burn rate, the Haas RT Audi are safe. But one mistake, and all of a sudden, Proton Huber competition are back in. And for Klaus Bachler, he's on the radio, they're going to say, "We've got a chance here, Klaus. Go for it. Go for it. Why not?"
He's been given that information, hasn't he? There's a way of looking at this. You are first in Pro-Am. You are second overall in the whole race, and you've got to consider that this car started from pole position. The number 73, Klaus Bachler, now at the wheel of that car. That car is completely optimized. It's coming up to 11 hours completed, though, with a tired car, the sun going down. The sun is at the sun is at the horizon now. It's going to disappear very shortly. All the heat is going to dissipate out the track, and it's going to give you a very, very fast racetrack. The air is cooling down. That Porsche of Klaus Bachler is going to be absolutely optimized. If you're going to chase the lead, now is the time to do it. There's just over an hour, and you are going to push the Haas team into beginning to start thinking about you chasing them from behind. And when you can take the focus off driving a steady
has about a 25% of a tank advantage.
Right.
It's because there's about 15 minutes in their stint lengths apart. So if you call that a quarter of a stint, 25%. So, how long does it take to fill up 25 litres or so into the car? Quite a while. So the Haas RT team, they do have a little bit of an edge in terms of fuel in the tank at this exact moment. But Code 60 falls away at Proton Huber, and it doesn't for Haas RT. We are absolutely game on. So it very much depends on that. I think without a Code 60, it's even a big ask, even for someone of Klaus Bachler's form that he's in right now. But stranger things have happened as the sun now is just heading over the horizon now. The headlights are twinkling through just gorgeous conditions here at Misano. We've had perfect racing conditions all day. It hasn't been excessively hot. We did race here in July last year, and it was, many of the teams said it was almost too hot. I don't know how they're going to find Paul Ricard in July. That's going to be...
It's going to be pretty hot at Paul Ricard. It's going to be over 30 degrees. We've been in there. We've been there in July before. Creventic are going to be getting out the inflatable paddling pools and filling them with cold water at the back of everyone's pit garage. But that's the challenge, isn't it? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's the challenge of surviving as a driver, the car surviving. And it's the challenge now, Peter, going into this final hour of keeping the focus and keeping the concentration from all of our drivers. And with multi-class racing, you've got to keep the focus of how you were going to get through the traffic. It's easy to trip over a slower car if the car is only marginally slower.
Well, right now, Tracy Crone, who's leading the AM class comprehensively in 992, he's actually coming up behind a GT3 car, which theoretically should be quicker. It's the Circle K due to Audi. Its best lap of the race is 1:33.8. The RPM car, but different class, 1:36.6. So the optimum lap time of the car is several seconds apart. Yet Nick Johnson is coming up behind the probably the slower driver in the Jutta car, and that's just they're just tripping over one another a little at this moment in time. So. That's worth. That's one thing that you're talking about as well, I think, Joe. That traffic. Diana Binks is still in the pits, getting the stories for us. Diana, what have you got for us?
Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport, the number 69 GT3 car. That's been in the garage, as you know, for quite some time. So they've had to change the clutch and the starter motor on that car, and they're nearly done. So they're going to be going back out, rejoining the race in a few minutes' time. But they've just not stopped. They've continued. So they've done a pretty impressive job. So I think the last few bits to do, but they're aiming to get that one back out onto the track.
So. Still work going on then at Continental Racing Audi with the Audi Sport technician there as well, chatting to the team. What a shame for them. They were having such a good run too. Over an hour and 24 minutes they've been in the pits now, trying to get to the bottom of this, trying to fix this issue.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Hard graft that.
Very.
Very, very hard graft. You can see how hard those guys have been working. And even team principal, the team is called Continental Racing with Simpson Motorsport, by Simpson Motorsport. Julian Simpson was absolutely there with these, his sleeves rolled up metaphorically, t-shirt on, absolutely caked in dirt and oil and grease and right in amongst it.
I think he had a short sleeve shirt
He
on
did, yeah.
because he's just not got time to roll his sleeves up.
That's right.
There's no time. Just get on with it.
Just get on with it, yeah. So that job coming to a conclusion, as Di predicted, Di explained, I should say.
Into the final hour then we go. Over 11 hours of racing complete, and this is unlike the other two rounds we've had so far in the Michelin 24-hour series. This is a race that has not had an intervention break. We've not done 5 or 6 hours the first day and then parked Fermi, and then done the same again the next day for a cumulative total of 12 hours. This has been 12 hours from lights to flag that we will have in 58 minutes and 31 seconds time, and I think it's definitely more straightforward strategy-wise in terms of what you do and whether you fill the car up or whether you put the tyres on at the end and where you are on the lap and stuff like that. It's a little bit more straightforward that way, but in terms of brake changes, in terms of in terms of the actual reliability of the car, it's harder because the car has to run for longer continuously.
Brake wear's exactly the same though, Peter.
Yes, I know, but
you're not allowed to service the cars in the interval.
Of course not. But when the car is running constantly, it's got no time to rest.
It's got a chance to cool off or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So the build up of temperature in the whole car, everything makes a difference. Great work from Continental Racing by Simpson. The Simpson mechanics have got it off the air jacks and then ready to go. Great work from that crew. A shame because the Audi has been a really fast car. At the moment Audi for the Haas Audi is leading the way and looking strong right now. They had a really quick car.
Underneath 90 minutes for that job. 1 hour 27 so far.
The mechanics.
There's Julian there, looking like he's ready to go on stage. Not quite ready to chat to Diana. Like I say, hard graft that.
Yeah, you need
hard graft to do that job in that amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. Off it goes though, the Simpson Audi. So the gap at the front of the field, it is coming down. The last timing point we had, it was 1 minute 12. And in fact, though, Matthijs Lisman has just picked up the pace, in fact, on the last lap.
He's matching him, isn't he?
Yeah, nearly put in the Haas RT Audi's best lap of the race, actually. So getting towards the car and the car's limit now, and trying to respond to Klaus Bachler putting the pressure on. So if Klaus Bachler wants to keep changing and keep bringing that gap down, he's going to have to push to that lap record pace that he showed earlier on.
Pit stop time for the Venture team. Chris Jones bringing the car in. It's 12th overall, this car. It's a GT4 Mercedes AMG GT. It's been a challenge for the team to run this car. The only car in GT4, but they didn't shy away from the challenge, and instead of just coasting it for the whole of this 12 hours, they've pushed and pushed and pushed to emulate running a 12-hour race under pressure.
Yeah, and that takes a mental strength in itself to do that, as they go. And right now they're sitting, as things stand, in the top 12 overall, given that they've got the least, they're in the slowest class of car, and the fact that they're up there ahead of lots of 992s, a few GT3s, a GTX. They've done really, really well. Have Venture Engineering, a team in the UK which not only run this GT4 car for Neville and Chris Jones, they also run a fleet, a fleet of Aston Martin DBR9s. Yes, those Aston Martin DBR9s. The one of which won Le Mans, and they run those cars. A lot of the team there used to work for Aston Martin Racing and ProDrive, and so know the cars inside out and know how they work. They also run a few Ferrari 550 GT1 cars, which I can imagine coming to work in the morning and you roll open the garage door and those pieces of art, these Le Mans winning machines greet you. That can never be a bad day, surely.
Not at all. Let's go down to Di, who has the Zebulju Racing car with her now. Di.
Yep, 888. Paul Meyer is jumping in. Driver change here, full service, new tyres. Just been to the refueling area, came back out. Stefan Perrin has jumped out of that car, and yep, all good here. They're just changing the tyres, double checking. I think they're looking. I thought for a minute they were maybe going to do some brake changes, but I'm not seeing anything out here, so they're just checking in there. And dropping it down onto the pit apron now.
Yeah, I think if you almost drive it home on the steel now, if you can, you don't want to have to waste too much time with the brake change. Hopefully not. But off they go. Seb Lejeune, quite a fight back to get back into the top 10 after the incident that they had. Quite amazing what they've been able to do. That repair that they were able to do earlier on was so quick. So. Oh, a big smoky burnout on the exit.
Yeah, extra points, extra championship points awarded right there for that.
You should have a championship point for every burnout done out of the pits.
Absolutely.
IMSA style.
Bit of deliberation going on there, but the car back out. That's been a recovery drive, and they should be very proud of themselves. 3rd overall. They're going to be on the overall 992 class podium. They are going to be on the 2nd step of the AM podium. So that is an absolutely outstanding time. This was the car, remember, that had that coming together with the E2P Racing Aston Martin. And it had a big repair job on the suspension. That was very, very well done. Very speedily repair as well by the team. And then the 888 numbered car, now with Paul Meyer at the wheel. It came all the way from the back of the field, all the way from the back of the class field, and it's made its way up into that 3rd spot. It will see Nick Damon on the podium. Di is very busy down there in the pits. Di, you've now got the Hofer car, I see, with you.
No, the cameraman's gone to the Hofer car, but I've got Stefan Perrin, who's just jumped out of the Seb Lejeune car to have a chat with. So we'll have a conversation. You've had your work cut out for you today during this race, but you're making progress as a team.
Sorry, I don't hear the question, but yeah, we are now 2nd position of category. It's near the goal. Problem that we have a big contact at the beginning of the race, and we lost many laps. And in the race, laps you lost, you never gain after. But now it's it's a strange situation because we are so far front and so far near back, and I don't like that to find the pace. And with the sunset, sometimes with traffic, it's sometimes tricky. But yeah, now we just to check the flag and incredibly good.
But as a team, you've worked incredibly hard all day to sort of keep on top and fight back.
Sorry.
As a team, you've all worked incredibly hard to keep going and be here.
Yeah. The beginning of the season was very hard for us. We have two big crash last at Spa 12 hours. The team work very busy work every day, every night to be there, and it's important for the team to jump on the podium. And we are running again for the first victory in the 1992 Ham Cup.
Okay, Stefan, thank you. And you were, we chatted to you a little earlier. You've had a day of it today.
I don't think
You've had a busy day.
C'est vraiment un travail vraiment acharné pour être là.
Oui, c'est un gros travail après Spa pour être présent. Et on pensait que ça allait le faire sans ce petit contact. Je pense qu'on serait bien placé.
He said that it's busy work to be there, and without contact of the first scene, we can maybe fight for the category victory. But it's for the next time for my home race.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Quite a fight back from Seb Lejeune Racing, and their championship campaign marches on with 49 minutes left on the clock. Klaus Bachler is trying with all his might at the moment to try and run down this gap at the front of the field. It's now been reduced another couple of seconds, 1 minute 9 seconds. So it's probably still not quite close enough for panic stations to set in at Haas RT, but if he keeps chipping it away, you just never ever know. One code 60 falls the right way, and all of a sudden it is very much game on at the front of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. We were monitoring the lap time difference between Klaus Bachler chasing down the leader in that second place Proton Porsche, 1:33.5. Mathis Lismont, 1:34.1. When they come through, we'll see what the gap is between the number 21 Audi. It's Audi and Porsche at the front of this field for the 12 hours of Misano. Mercedes in third, Audi fourth, Ferrari in fifth in the form of the Scuderia Praha team. We got the Hofer car, the Hofer Mercedes in sixth place. That's your GT3 top runners. And then the first of the 992 cars, seventh place overall, Peter, for the Van Berlo cars. And you know what, Dad might not be the quickest driver in that Van Berlo Motorsport lineup, but he's not very slow, is he?
No, definitely not. And Glenn and Kai have been the two quickest drivers in the class in across the whole 992 field. So that combination of the solid job being done by Marcel Van Berlo, and then backed up by the pace of Glenn and Kai, that's been the winning combination so far, and they are fueled to the end of the race with Kai Van Berlo on board. They do have 30 seconds of penalties hanging over them, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. As in comes Scuderia Praha Ferrari, and this has implications for a top 5 finish. Max Partel is now aboard the Hofer Mercedes, so they may well go up to the top 5, but as new tyres going on to the Praha Ferrari. Very quick stop. Brilliant stuff there from the Czech squad. And it's Joseph Kral who brought the car in. I didn't see Joseph getting out the car, so they've got their hot shoe in to try and get the best possible result in the next 46 minutes. Now, where are they going to filter out? Are they going to get back out in front of Hofer? Hofer right now are just coming to sector 3. It's going to be tight, actually.
Yeah, they may not, because the Hofer car was ahead of the Scuderia Ferrari. Remember, Scuderia Praha Ferrari. Remember, before they came into the pits, so they will get that back. But no, I think you're right, Peter. 27 seconds. So I was completely wrong on that one. 27 seconds is the gap as Kroll takes the Ferrari out, and the Mercedes and Maxi Partel is 27 seconds behind.
Yeah. So, and with the pace that Joseph Kral's been showing at that Praha Ferrari, unless he makes an error, he'll be able to maintain that gap for sure. He's got the pedigree behind him. I am no doubt about it, will be able to, barring any mistakes, will be able to hold on to that top 5 position. And these are, this is what we're talking about. The two teams joined as we came into this round. Scuderia Praha and Hofer Racing, those two cars were joint top of the GT3 Championship overall. So that very much matters in terms of the overall championship fight, which rages on between those two cars. And two so different stories as well between them, with Scuderia Praha, they've got the superstar driver in just Joseph Kral and a couple of AMs as well. But then, of course, the Hofer car is all AMs. It's very much a family as well.
Yes, absolutely right.
Yeah.
Peter. It's they've got Maxi Partel. Time of the day as well, with the sun now disappeared behind the horizon. We get a chance to see the brake disc glowing red as the light begins to dim. They got some great footage here outside our window and on the live stream as the cars head into Del Parco. We're going to head down to the pits any moment now, where we've got our presentation getting ready for our Spirit of the Race Award. And Peter, it was your nomination for some very, very good reasons that I'll let you explain.
Yeah, I mean, Venture Engineering have come here as championship leaders in GT4. They joined the Creventic series in Barcelona last year. They won the race on their debut, and they've come back for a full season this year. They won in fantastic style in Mugello, and a big crash, unfortunately, in Spa, and that could have put them on the back foot. But they've come here despite having anyone to race with. They've come here, and they've come with such a positive attitude. They want to win the championship, and part of winning the championship is being here, and that's what they've done. And they've done it with a smile, and they've been working hard all day, and they're going to be rewarded with what looks like a top 12 finish. So Diana Binks is with the crew now for the presentation.
I've asked Matt and Neville to come at the front of the garage. Guys, Creventic and the 24-hour series always have the Spirit of Race Award for the team that have gone above and beyond and kept going throughout many obstacles during the weekend. Peter Fry here would like to present that to you and the team, to the Venture team this weekend. Peter.
Yes, this is the trophy we have. It's not a one-man show, of course, endurance racing. This is Spirit of the Race Award. That means that we appreciate what you're all doing here. Not only you two, because you're behind the wheel, but with the whole team. So this one is also for the whole team. Congratulations, thank you very much. Also congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think if I was going to say anything, as Peter said, it's definitely not a one-man team. There's an awful lot of us here, and yeah, since Spa, a lot of people have put an awful lot of effort into what we've been doing. To help Chris find his feet again, and to turn up here, even though we're the only car, and push as hard as we can to still push the. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's impressive today. I think it's gone better than we thought. Chris and I have had plenty of driving time, coached by Matt, and it's been a really good event. I've loved the track. It's a shame other people didn't come and have as much fun as we did. So hopefully they should come back.
Guys, congratulations. Celebrate with the rest of the team. Although I was a little surprised that the boys were so shy to come forward here tonight. I don't understand.
It's quite unlike Lewis. I think he loves talking to you. So.
Lewis, you can't have my number. Stop it.
Why not? Why not?
Because.
But anyway, so yeah.
Well done, guys. You've all worked incredibly hard. So you've had the Spirit of the Race Award. Creventic have delivered that to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's from what happened at Spa compared to now, it's a massive improvement. Obviously, the team worked really hard to get the car back out. With this new car we've got, and we've still got half an hour left, but it's looking pretty promising to get to the end. Why are they all laughing at me? Stop it.
That's really funny.
That's the best.
You're doing a fantastic job, Lewis. Thank you so much.
That's right, no worries.
Well done, Lewis. Yeah, a big part of the Venture Engineering team. For context, folks, if you didn't join us in Spa, Diana was doing a grid walk, walking around interviewing everybody, and found someone who looked like a driver in a driver's suit and said, "Oh, what's your number? I.e., what is your race car number?" And poor Lewis thought he was being asked for his mobile phone number. A little bit of crossed wires, but anyway, it gave us all a good laugh. Well done to Venture Engineering, winners of the Spirit of the Race Award, Spirit of Endurance, and come the end of the Barcelona 24 hours at the end of September. Coming to this race and doing the job they've done may well be the difference of them winning the championship or not. Possibly. Let's just wait and see. But it's Chris Jones who's at the wheel right now, and it's been a kind of journey back for him as well, because if Eau Rouge is a corner which anyone who follows motorsport knows Eau Rouge, it's arguably one of the most famous, if not the most famous corner in the world. And it's famous because it's so fast, and if it goes wrong big time. And Chris had, just on cold tyres, the car broke away from him really fast, and it was a one-way ticket to the wall. The car was completely destroyed. Now, for a driver to come back, get back in the car and get back on it, that takes a lot of mental strength and a lot of a deep breath to get on with it. And that's exactly what Chris and indeed all the Venture Engineering team have done. So well done to them in GT4, and as Neville said, hopefully we'll see a few more GT4s at Paul Ricard for them to have a good old fight with.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we are going to see a few more GT4s join us for Paul Ricard, and indeed the 24 Hours of Barcelona, which is always a popular race. The grid is always enlarged somewhat to the normal run-of-the-mill European season. It's a place that everybody likes to visit, the Circuit of Catalunya. This circuit's not over quite yet, though, Peter. We've got just under 40 minutes of this race to go. 1:33.9 for Lismont in the Haas RT, 1:35.0 for Bakler. Traffic playing a part in this chase down of the leading two.
It is, yeah, it is definitely playing a part. I think it's a little bit of a tall order, even for Klaus Bakler, who's put on a show with the fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap in qualifying yesterday. Even for him, it's going to be a tall order, but just takes one little error and it can turn around with 38 minutes left on the clock. As Neunund Elfin for a pit stop. This is in 992 from 11th place. They're right on the fringes of the overall top 10. They're showing particular attention to the front left corner. I wonder if this is more brake work very late on in the race, Joe.
Yeah, left front was where the attention was at. The car's off its jacks now. The 900 Elf racing the number 911 of Ralph Homme is ready and being waved off the apron. The lights are on the car. Car not firing though, being waved off, so he's ready to go, but just seems that the car is not firing or running. I can't see any kind of...
The engine's running. It's like you can't engage.
Can't get the drive then. He can't get the gear.
Oh dear. Yeah, the flat six is purring away nicely. But he's tapping the brake lights are coming on and off. Dear. Do you think they've done a brake change and he's just given them a quick tap to check that they're all good? No, that's a strange one. Very strange.
No, that was something to do with not being able to engage a gear or something.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
They just couldn't get the car moving. Couldn't get the. What made you think the engine? What made you think the engine was started?
Because I could hear it in my headphones.
Oh, really? I couldn't hear that. I couldn't hear that.
But the car controller had his palm facing towards the driver, like saying, don't go, which I thought was odd. That's the only reason why I'm saying, was there a reason why he was being held? It's very unusual. Anyway, off they go, nonetheless.
Yes. They are underway.
The track.
Thankfully.
Yes, yeah. And they managed to find drive and keep going. So Mathis Lismont is leading the race at the moment. One of two teenagers in the Haas RT car. Is Scuderia Farron go to work on their number 949 car? It's been an eventful day for them, to say the least. So, paying attention now to the rear left wheel arch. Is this more brake work going on? I think it might well be, What do you think, Joe?
The cooling something, that leaf blower there is definitely blowing cooler air, and whether or not they're trying to wheel going back on, not quite sure. A small adjustment, something has gone on there. Can't see any brake pads or anything that's come off that, so it's not brakes, Peter. Something related to, hard to judge really. Need Diana really to make inquiries on that one, but that car has been on a recovery drive pretty much from the outset, hasn't it? The Scuderia Farron, Pablo Bras Silveiro was the driver that was in the car into the pits. Let's see if that has changed now that the car has left the pit apron and gone out. 5th in the 992 AM class, 7th overall in 992, and it's had a troubled run, I've got to say.
It has. And Joseph Kral at the moment pulling away from the Hofer racing car for 5th position. Kral has just set the best lap of the race for that car, 132.9, and is going personal best again in Sector 1. While Kral lights up the timing screen, let's get someone down to someone who's lighting up the pit lane. Diana Banks.
Joe was just asking, as I was walking up here, the cameraman's just gone to change his battery, but Scuderia Farron, it was the rear pads that they were changing, so they just had a slight delay getting them off. So that's what I think you sort of caught the end of it, but that's what was happening with them.
All right, that's good. Yeah, I didn't see any pads lying about, so we didn't think that would. They'd kicked them into the garage at that point. Yeah, he had us worried again. I thought that tail of wood had not stopped. What's that?
The 909 Red Camel Jordan has just gone back out on track. Did I miss that going out earlier?
Yeah, that car resumed a while ago, but there's 35 minutes of that stint being completed by Mathieu Detry, and it was Mathieu who took the car out. So yeah, that car is the one that had the gearbox renewed, wasn't it? Ajith Kumar Racing by Red Ant Racing, Red Ant, the team underneath it, putting the car out. That had a troubled race with regards to losing a gearbox. That put it right out of contention, and now it's off podium contention in either a 992 overall or the AM class, 4th in AM. So not bad really, but it is back out. It's got about 9 laps to gain before it catches the next car in 992. So, and that's a recovering Homeguard Motorsport car, which itself had problems, didn't it? That was the car that ground to a halt.
Did, yeah, had to be towed back to the pit lane, unfortunately, and that took them out of a podium position in 992. Potentially, they were the car really that was the last man standing in trying to hold down the Van Berlo car. They were the only one really in the conversation at that point. Yeah, technical problems causing them a major delay. So the Haas RT car 32 minutes away then from glory here on the Adriatic coast at Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. You look at the names that have won here. The first ever race here, Arturio Mazzario won in an Abarth Azella back in 1972. Leo Kinnunen won in the Inter-Series here in a Porsche 917 Can-Am car.
Inter-Series.
Inter-Series.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean,
I can't imagine that car around this track.
It's like flying a space shuttle around a electric
That's
track.
like riding your bike around your bathroom.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't got a big bathroom.
Speaking of which, a Porsche 935 for Bob Wallach and Henri Pescarolo in the World Sports Car Championship in 1978. Yeah.
I wonder if there's footage of that on YouTube somewhere. There's got to be.
Oh, we've got to go down.
I'm going to look for that. Absolutely.
We've got to imagine the Inter-Series footage of Kinnunen sliding the 917-10 around, trying to.
Might have to use your phone, mate. I'm almost my European data has almost been.
It's been a busy day for
with the Sunderland match.
Yes.
Yeah. Might have to use your laptop.
Okay. that's our homework for the airport tomorrow. I wonder if we could find some Nick Jonsson Swedish F3 footage as well.
Wow, that would be, yeah.
That'd be cool.
We're going back to the 90s there. I think.
80s.
80s. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah, that's how experienced he is.
Well, the RPM racing car, currently the 992 AM leader, but it's also on the 992 overall podium here. And it is about 5 laps off that leading 992 car. That's the Van Berlo Motorsport car. Kai Van Berlo finishing the race for that team. We've talked about how good a race the Van Berlo team have had, but I've got to also say, Peter, that the RPM Racing, the bright green Krone Aviation sponsored car, they've had a good race too. They've I'm going to say, I daren't say they've hardly put a foot wrong. I daren't say it, because there's still 30 minutes remaining.
You can't.
When can we even say that? Can we say that?
Yes, you
we'll
can.
say that after the checkered flag.
No, but you can't jinx Nick.
I know.
Worry.
No, I'm not going to.
You're going to be all right. No, they haven't put a foot wrong all season.
Yes.
They've been perfect all season, and that's why they've had, they've dominated the 992 AM class, but they've also got very good 992 results, full stop, and beaten a lot of the pro cars. There's only one pro car ahead of them in this race, and that's the race winner, Van Berlo, or race leader, sorry, Van Berlo Motorsport. So they've done what they do. Philip Hamprecht starring always, and Nick Jonsson just plug and play. He drives a race car like you and I put our socks on in the morning, and I think he still drives a race car better than that.
Smoothness is the key, isn't it?
To put socks on and drive a race car.
Well, yes, yeah, to put your socks on, yeah, as well. It's very similar. But smoothness is the key, and it's, the places where you lose time is being ragged into and out of the slower corners. It was Bob Wallach who taught Johnny Molan how to take the Sebring hairpin, and Johnny said it was just looking at his data and looking at what he was doing is just, I could not emulate it. And it's big for Johnny Molan to admit that he was baffled by another driver, but it was the great Bob Wallach. And
that was at a time when Johnny Molan was in his early days of driving Porsches, and Wallach was very much.
Molan was the king of the Carrera Cup, wasn't he?
Yeah. But Wallach was another. He was top guy at the time, wasn't he?
Johnny just beginning his international motorsport career. Yeah. Bob Wallach coming to the twilight of his motorsport career.
I think that probably says a lot about Johnny having, like you say, having the intelligence to go, actually, I'm going to find out.
Well, and Johnny taught me. He said, that the slow bits are where you make the time. The fast bits, everybody's close through the fast bits, but the slow bits is where you make the difference on the brakes, at the apex, the speed you carry mid corner, and then the exits governs your exit speed, which governs this, the all the way down the straight. That's next. And if you look at the layout of MISANO, there's lots of areas where that is key. There's lots of areas also on this track of where you're braking and turning, and that is not necessarily a fun thing to do, braking and turning. When you first start being taught how to drive a race car, you're always taught to brake in a straight line. Well, there's some places where you just can't, and this is one of those places where you need to brake and turn at the same time, and that is very, very tricky, even in cars that have ABS and driver aids like that.
And as we found out, the equipment doesn't really like it either.
No, as we found out, look at it. Yes, the vagaries of brake wear here.
And this is just a glorious time as the sun is setting. Now got a kind of mixture of palette of colours of light blue, light orange, and the palette of colours coming from the cars as well. The exhaust glowing orange through the early evening sky, and the brake disc glowing as well. It's quite poetic, just like Nick Damon.
Nothing more poetic than Nick in the gloaming. It has to. Just going to say, I mean, I do apologise if you've mentioned this in the last couple of seconds. That's having a bit of a crossover with young Diana. But the Haas team was just doing their final stop. It was just fuel only from the lead, and they have trundled down the pit lane. Now walking towards the Celebrity machine that's sitting on the apron with a last-minute problem. Again, looking quite carefully at that far right front right tyre and front left. They're suffering a little bit more from brake issues. I've been walking down the pit lane, seeing a few of the again. That was what this was last time. No, it's Holmgarth. It's Holmgarth that it had gone. Oh yeah, this has actually exploded. Yeah, this is a brake disc that has actually gone pang. So this one actually has disintegrated. So this is what also happened to Holmgarth, but it just seemed this was a bit more serious. There are bits of disc all over the place. Taking the disc out goes to show just how extreme it has been on this side. Now, I assume what happens is... what I thought might have happened is they might have gone through the disc pad material, but there's still, as you look down here, you can see there's still quite a bit of left on there. So it's not gone through the old metal onto carbon. So it's just a structural failure. I would think that the people at Porsche would be quite interested in the problems they've been having on these Cup Cars brakes here at...
You bet they will.
The circuits, because that's Holmgarth said there's exploded. I think this one definitely did explode. Perhaps Holmgarth just almost exploded. There's certainly a lot more debris. It's taking a lot longer than the Holmgarth stop we saw about an hour ago. But they have constantly struggled on this front left for the 992s. There's been a couple of the GT3s have had a bit of an issue, but not like this constant requirement for change we've seen from these 992s.
They've got a bit of time to sort this out without losing a position. They've got 8 laps worth of time to be precise, which is about 12, 13 minutes. There's 25 minutes left in the race.
I think the issue is caliper damage. Okay. They are trying to unwind something. It's got kind of lock wires. Yeah, they are looking to. Are they actually trying to cobble something together with that? Doesn't look very safe. They're trying to cobble something together with they've lock wired the back of the caliper together, which makes me think they've had some quite large caliper failure. They must feel it's safe because I'm sure they've got a spare caliper somewhere. But yeah, okay, fair enough. And they've left a lot of debris of destroyed disc on the ground. Wow. So. Yeah, this is certainly an interesting one, that has to be said, for the Porsche engineers to think about after the weekend.
You know, it's funny, isn't it? Because the Porsche 992 GT3 Cup has, as Ayrton Redon comes through with his dinner as well, past the Sebazou pit. It's interesting because the 992 GT3 Cup machine has been in competition since 2022. There are hundreds of these cars racing in every corner of the globe. In fact, there'll be well over 100 racing every weekend between UK Carrera Cup, North America, Asia, Australia, and that's just in Carrera Cups. So that's before you get into where they're used in endurance racing and so on. There's even now a few of them that have been built into rally cars. So that is something that's clearly yeah, I would think you're right, Nick. It's going to be a big surprise and potentially a big interesting topic for the FISAC Monday meeting. That saying, oh, well, we were at MISANO at the weekend and the cars were going through front left brakes like
that's got now do a Porsche, mate. That's got everything to do with whoever's brake discs you've got on there, whether it's a Brembo or a wherever.
It's not a spec. It's a spec part, though.
No, but that's not uncommon. I mean, I don't know why we're getting all frightened about this.
It's a Carrera Cup Deutschland spec part that you have from Porsche.
What on those cars? Yeah. Oh, really? All right, okay. But that's not uncommon. For you're talking about a lot of changes in heat here at MISANO. We've just been talking about the braking areas. the tight hairpins, the braking, the gradual braking that's going in, and that's just building up the heat into the brake disc, so you're building up the heat, and then you use it. So through the kinks, you're using the brake, and then you're hammering the brake. They're glowing red, all four, and then they cool down rapidly. And this expansion and contractions, but the cracks develop, and eventually they break, and that's why we've seen teams change discs and some teams not change discs. Because at the pit stop, when you take the wheel off, you're having a quick look to see where the cracks are, and if there are any cracks, and the cracks are tiny things, they're faint things, anything like that, you've got to take the disc off and replace it.
Yeah.
So that's a Porsche part, is it? Did you say?
The wheel, it's put an actual hole
Wow.
into the rim. It's cut edges into all the side of the tyre.
It's like a handle going off, Nick.
Basically, yeah. And you're going to need a new one. Oof. But luckily, no one was hurt, so that's fine.
Yeah, just someone's bank balance, of course.
It's racing, mate. That's even when you win, that's damaged.
Nick, forgive me if you've already answered this, but how long had that disc been on the car?
Don't know. That's that question.
Can you ask it?
My guess is from the beginning of the race, because they hadn't been changing discs. They didn't change discs when I saw them doing pads.
And that's why we've seen teams do that for that, and that's from experience, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to know what if there is a recommendation from Porsche of what the lifing is, and of course the lifing.
But that will change from track to track.
Exactly.
Pieces of the disc here and the old pads. I'm not quite sure how hot they are, which is why I'm not touching them. But you can see how it's just snapped and broken. But they don't seem to be particularly thin, to be honest.
No, they're not thin, Nick.
It's a structural crack.
It's because of the rapid expansion and contraction due to the massive changes in heat.
Are these ceramic, are these carbon, or are these
stainless
metal?
steel, I think.
They're not stainless steel.
Yeah.
They'll
they're shining up, but they're quite dull
iron.
normally.
Ah, right. They're not carbon though.
People say steel.
Don't seem heavy enough to cast iron.
Steel brakes. They're not steel. They're iron.
They're too hot to lift. They're too hot to touch. I know that. Even there, that's too warm. Close. Give it 10 minutes.
You know when we said we've got carbon discs or steel discs.
Yeah.
It's never steel. It's cast iron. It's iron.
Right. Well, it's any old iron now. It's the only people who are interested in that.
You haven't got trainers on touching that, have you? So,
yeah, that's melted them though. It's fine.
Oh, you haven't.
I've already done that. No, I haven't.
Don't stand on them.
They're too hot to touch, but not too hot to melt trainers. But we have been there, and I melted someone's leg once in F1. So let's go into that now.
Not your leg, then.
No, it was a mechanic's leg by accident. Well, you shouldn't wear shorts all the time. That's all I can say.
I'll tell you exactly what they are. They're an aluminium 6-piston fixed caliper, one piece, 380mm on the front.
What's it? That's the caliper. What's the disc?
Don't know. Not carbon anyway. On those. So.
Well, it's whether there's some sort of ceramic is the question, isn't it? Because if you look at performance cars rather than performance single seaters, performance cars have ceramic discs.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're not ceramic though. They're just
didn't look like it.
They're just cast. They're just iron.
I think it's too expensive for motor racing to use ceramic discs. It's only people who've got more money than sense and stick them on their road cars, which for once is not me. One thing I've not bought stupidly.
Go and ask someone like Evo who wouldn't be afraid to tell you how much a disc costs. And what's used.
I could ask him that. The only thing about that is it's the complete other end of the pit lane.
Well, who you got that that will tell you the cost of that.
I need to find a 992 person, don't I? Oh, we'll go down the other end. Come on, we'll go down the other end. We'll go and ask Evo. It's easier. And in fairness, you helped me get my steps up because the catering's been very good. So I have been slightly overindulging in the portions. So I need to walk it off. I'm very restrained normally. I like to think of myself as the most in shape person at Karting Live TV, which is not a great challenge.
Mate.
Ash is really excited about doing a marathon this weekend. Yeah. Oh, blimey, I need to say good luck to him. Good luck with Ash on your marathon this weekend.
Colby de Bruyker out of the pits then. Or is it Colby de Bruyker? I think it is. He's just clicked the driver ID as he's come out of the pits with the red ant Mercedes in third place. 2 laps off the leader, 1 lap off the car ahead of them in that second spot. He's third on the podium, with Michelin in the Utah car about 3 laps behind them in 4th. And then a further lap down is the Scuderia Praha Ferrari, Josef Kral at the wheel of that Ferrari, and then the number 11 Hofer Mercedes, currently 2nd in the AM category, 6th overall in GT3. They are running 6th in the Hofer Racing Mercedes. And then in the overall running, Kai van Berlo in the Van Berlo Motorsport by Bas Kuiten. It's Bas Kuiten's team underneath the Van Berlo Motorsport banner. That is leading the 992 class. They are on 392 laps. They have got a 5-lap gap before we get the next of the 992 runners, and that's Nick Johnson in the RPM car. That's who we've been talking about.
I've got our answer on the brakes for the 992.
How much?
A lot. A lot. But in the Porsche category, we have, as we talked about, 6-piston aluminium monoblock racing brake calipers with anti-knockback piston springs. They are steel brake discs, 380mm by 32mm ventilated.
They're not actually steel, though.
That's what it says in the calendar.
I know, but they're not actually
mounted
steel.
on aluminium disc bells.
It's a question. It's a question for a team owner. I need to ask. We've just seen the Seb Lejeune Racing team's disc has exploded. So we were wondering 2 questions. 1, what are the discs for a 992 made out of? And secondly, how much are they?
Both I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I know they are expensive, but I think they're from steel.
Is there anybody within your extremely experienced team who could... Yes.
Absolutely. You have to talk to
We need to know. Right. Here we go. We're getting the expert now. Okay, we have question about the brakes. Okay. 992 discs, 992 rotors. What are they made of, the rotors?
I think steel.
Any sort of special steel? Is it cast steel?
I'm not sure. You should ask Brembo, but I think it's cast. It's a cast, but it's steel. It's not cast iron, but cast steel.
And can you tell us how much money they are each? How much does a disc cost?
A complete disc is around €500.
That's not too
That's
bad.
less than I thought. See, we found. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You wanted the answer. There we go. Thanks, guys. That's Rick Hamilton being helpful as ever. So only €2,000 a set, and they are some form of steel, cast steel rather than cast iron, which makes sense. They didn't seem heavy enough for cast iron, Joe. But obviously, steel and iron are similar properties. A lot of ferrous in both of them. But I have to be honest with you, it's not often I think, oh, that's not very much. I just thought that for the disc.
Yeah.
I think you get charged more for an Audi road disc.
There's a lot of road cars that will be more than that.
Well, Nick used to have an A7 Audi A7, and they had ceramics.
Yeah, again, I didn't order it with those. I bought it second-hand with them, and they were £10,000 a set.
There you go.
But I didn't order those. They came with the car. I didn't have to replace them either.
Every time you brake slightly, you would smack your nose off the windscreen, even with your seatbelt on.
They had absolutely no feel at low speed. At high speed, fantastic. Why you would put ceramic discs on a road car, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's completely pointless.
I drove a Cayenne Turbo Hybrid S. It's the most bonkers car I've ever driven, 700 horsepower, and it had carbon discs. And I felt it needed them because the car's so heavy. It's like 2.5 tons
on a road car.
On a road car, yeah. And
ceramic discs or carbon discs?
They're not the same. No. I'm pretty sure it was carbon.
Yeah, well, the carbon tends to probably carbon against getting hit. The problem with ceramic is the low. I mean, admittedly, these were quite. Yeah, they're probably improvements in the last 5 years. They would have been 10 years old technology from now, but you just had nothing at low speed. And as Joe rightly says, given the fact that my driving's not the smoothest in the first place, that didn't help. But it was quite useful because whilst Joe was tutting and going 10% IC, I said, no, that's the brake's fault. And it was. I was being truthful.
So there we go.
So there's our lesson on brakes then.
There we go. That was very educational.
Yes.
Look, we know how much they cost, we know what they're made of, we know, and I've given you all the information you need when you come to buy a high-performance road car, not to buy ceramic ones. This is a public service as well as a commentary.
It is.
Consumer advice.
And they are very much a consumable at 500 quid a corner.
Yeah. The 701, the Vortex is about. It looks like it may be trying to go out for the last 2 or 3
that'd be nice.
laps.
See to take the checkered flag.
It's gone out on the pit lane, and then there isn't a problem. They're just trying to get it off the dollies.
It's going to take the checkered flag.
Going. How long to go?
12
minutes.
12 and a half.
Oh, 12 minutes. That's interesting. So they are going to try and get the bright orange. They've de-oranged it slightly, haven't they? They've got these kind of running chevrons up and down the side. It's almost like they thought that was too orange. We're going to start putting a bit of design on it.
Yes, we are 12 minutes away from the checkered flag with the Haas RT being chased down and less than a minute now in it. Klaus Bachler continues to chase down the leader, and with 12 minutes on the clock, unless the gods intervene, we should have the Haas RT Audi with Mathis Lismont bringing that home into the last few laps than Peter. And it's been one of those races where, with only a 21 car field, we were a bit worried about how things would pan out, but like I've always said, you only need 2 cars to make a race, and 21 on this MISANO World Circuit, or is it World Circuit MISANO actually, to give it its full title. It's kind of worked, and I'm not sure whether it would have worked so well if we'd had, say, 40 or 45 cars.
I think we'd had a lot more code 60s. Anyway.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's pretty narrow and pretty busy in places. I mean, it's known in MotoGP actually for being a hard track to pass, except potentially down into Quercia. That's kind of your one main overtaking opportunity. Otherwise than that, it's a little bit follow the leader, and that's on motorbikes. So that means that for in the context of what we're talking about here, it's for multi-class racing can be really tricky, particularly when the majority of the field, you think the field is made up of basically 50-50 GT3s and 992s. Okay, there's 2 other cars that are out with that, but more or less, for sake of argument, 10 992s and 10 GT3s. So and those cars are the ones where it gets most awkward, because in a straight line they're so similar in terms of speed. It's only really in the braking and in the corners where the GT3 makes up all its lap time. And if you've got a really, really good driver in a 992 and someone less experienced in a GT3, then they can overlap as well. So at a circuit like this, that can be a bit of a nightmare, and we've seen several altercations between a GT3 and a 992 today. So yeah, like I say, if you multiply those numbers, so you doubled the entry of those, it would be very, very busy indeed. So the lights glowing on Klaus Bachler's Porsche 992 GT3R, and the exhaust at the rear of the car. It's actually quite cool because the car is painted, it's wrapped in purple and orange, and the exhaust is glowing orange, so it kind of fits in with the paint scheme of the car. Klaus pushing on regardless. 57 seconds now the gap, so he's run down Mathis Lismont as best he possibly can. He's doing everything within his power. It's just going to come up just short. But for this crew, for Proton Huber competition, they've had a rocky season. Mugello, they were super quick, and they were actually really competing with the Ferraris. They were really the only car to compete with the Ferraris on pace in the mixed conditions. And unfortunately, an incident caused a lot of damage and lost them a lot of time with repairs. Spa the same, and this is where it's clicked together. Everybody's done their job. It's Klaus Bachler has maybe stolen the headlines with his qualifying time and his pace, but every single member of the team has done their bit to get the car to be up on the overall podium. And we shouldn't forget an absolutely emphatic win in the Pro-Am class by over 5 laps if they can get it through the next 9 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. From pole position as well, like you said, Peter. They have been very quick, but all credit to Christa Donker and his team at Haas RT, because they have ran a very, very clever race, haven't they? Yeah,
you have to feel a bit for Sandrine Haas, who I guarantee will be watching.
She'll be watching
at the moment.
Hello,
Sandrine. You're missed. Your presence is missed. But she's quite a superstitious person. Because
you mean she's not going to come to the rest of the race?
I remember one time, every time we interviewed her, something went wrong, and she said that's your guy's fault. So
yes.
Maybe now she's not allowed to come to the track anymore. I thought that is definitely not a rule that's going to stick. Definitely not. Hopefully we'll see her again at some of the other races.
I'm picturing her on her, patio or a deck of a house, just sipping on a rum,
a rum and coke in the Caribbean and just watching the next 7.5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And watching a team run to the checkered flag. They've done a cracking job here. They've done an absolutely cracking job. All credit to all of the drivers as well in that team.
Yeah. To Jeff McKeel's, Peter Gwelinks, Matthias Lismont, 2 teenagers in that car.
Yeah. Talent spotters, aren't they?
Talent spotters, yeah. 2 young Belgians. And, you know, it shows you that Belgian motorsport is in very rude health. Clearly, in sports car racing, you see the drivers at the front in global sports car racing. You have the Vantor brothers, both of them, and you know, one a world champion, one very, very successful, who's just dominating, certainly dominating qualifying in IMSA at the moment. Maxime Martin, who's won everything there is to win. There's so many great Belgian drivers out there, and then more talent being brought up through teams. HasRT, what Red Ant are doing, trying to spot talent as well. Yeah. You know, that's Belgian motorsport, certainly in the sports car world, is in very good health indeed.
Yeah, great job by everybody.
So many.
992, Kai van Berlo, the Van Berlo Motorsport with Bas Koeten underneath. That's had a dominant run. But to dominate, you've got to do everything right, haven't you? You know, especially in a class of racing, especially in a spec formula like the 992 class, where all the cars are pretty much the same manufacturer, same power outputs, same handling characteristics. It's the attention to detail that the teams apply, and it's the attention to detail of how they go about their racing. And I think what has been the benefit is just how close the Van Berlo family are. The two boys and the dad have been very, very close on lap times. And all right, Dad's not the quickest, but he's certainly not a slow driver at all. He's got a bit of talent himself, as Marcel. And that's how you end up with a 6-lap lead. It was a 6-lap lead in class that I last saw. It's gone out, hasn't it? It's still 6 laps.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? And, yeah, it'll be all of the Van Berlo family have had success in the 24-hour series before. Marcel, a winner in the 991 class in Dubai 4 years ago. Also, Glenn has had success in the 24-hour series, amongst others. And for Kai van Berlo, you know, he's won at the Rolex 24 Daytona in the LMP3 class with Riley, and indeed at that same year in 2022 at the Watkins Glen 6 hours. He ran Seb Prio pretty close to the Porsche Carrera Cup North America Championship 3 years ago as well. So, and he's still involved in American racing with Kelly Moss coaching with their drivers as well in Carrera Cup North America. So, but this will be special, I'm sure, to win with your brother, with your dad, all together, and to do it in such dominant fashion is very, very special indeed.
They're all going to meet Nick Damon on the podium as they go up there to get their trophies presented. We've got the Vortex that is out on the pit apron again. We mentioned, we heard Nick mention that has the car come back in, has it?
It's just literally come back in a second ago. They've it's kind of rocking on its 2 of its 3 tricycle legs has gone up properly. It's kind of sums things up there really, but they're leading and chatting. I don't know whether that's indicative of a serious problem or they're just trying to tweak things for a final lap sprint to the end. They are to bring out an extra air jack to get that third leg up properly. The air coming from canisters, so I suppose after a busy day, the initial canister was exhausted in its compressed air. And the 701 will go up on its tricycle, and hopefully they'll get the thing out for a final lap. A little bit of nervousness down in the HasRT pit, but I think they've done enough now, barring disaster. They obviously only have Klaus a minute behind, so it's not in the bag, but it's looking quite baggish.
Yes, the bag is being peeled open, and they're just about to place it into the bag, but that's going to take 3 minutes and 23 seconds to be able to do so. And also, as well, up and down the pit lane, some crossed arms and pacing going on, and that's normal. Get into the end of a race.
Only 3 cars not. If the Vortex gets out to take the flag, it'll be only 3 cars that have failed to take the checkered flag. Commiserations to the number 921 Mulder Motorsport Porsche team.
big commiserations to the number 65 Viper Nisa racing team from Malaysia, and big commiserations to E2P Racing that had that accident damage with their Aston Martin Vantage. They are the only 3 teams. Potentially the Vortex, if it doesn't get out, that would make it 4 cars not making it to the checkered flag. But at the way that it looks, it does look like the Vortex is going to go out there and do a token lap to finish off its race with a checkered flag.
So yeah, that is a good ratio, I would say, given how tough the circuit has been on the machinery. You know, the front left corner on the braking has really put the equipment to the test, and Haas RT, they'll be quite glad that they did their brake change in the middle, and have made sure that that was in hand. So coming round, it will be 1 lap to go when they come around. Just coming around Creventic at the moment, then through the following corner, 250 kilometers an hour just before they touch the brake, and then you're braking and turning round and round and round all the way into the final sector through this almost little miniature stadium section. And Mathis Lismont is going to have the honor of taking the flag. The first flag he will see will be the white flag for last lap, the last lap board being shown.
No white flag in Europe, mate.
No.
You're not American now.
No, there you go. That was a test.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
He thinks he's on iRacing.
Where's Barney?
No meatballs either. Well, they're getting up early. They've got a minute and a half on the side here for the Haas RT team.
Has the Vortex left?
Yes, the Vortex has gone. Yay!
That's good. That's good. So that means only 3 not seeing the checker flag out of 21 starters.
Oh, now the Killjoy Marshall's getting them off the wall.
Really? Why is that?
Because he's got a hat on and ear defenders and a high vis.
No, I mean, why are they not allowing people on the wall?
No, on the side. Yeah, on the pit wall.
Yeah, is he?
They're climbing up. He's trying to stop them.
Wow.
Because he's probably been to some health and safety demonstration.
Yeah, I noticed it.
He's being relatively ignored, in fairness, in the what are you going to do? And I think he's giving up. It was a valiant effort to be a job's worth, but he's failed.
Yeah, he was not going to stop everybody.
I can say now that if someone tries to sue him, he did try.
We'll come down to you, Nick, no doubt, when Peter takes us across the line. We'll come down to you for the Atmos, but Peter, Haas RT, we've waxed lyrical about how good a job they've done. They're about to take the checkered flag, though.
They are. They've been absolutely imperious here at MISANO. The team still in its 3rd year of racing. Amazing to say that. Haas RT are the masters of MISANO here in the Michelin 12-hour race. Brilliant stuff from that Audi squad. They are your winner.
And I have the 2 other drivers. Peter, fantastic result for the team. 12-hour win and leading to so many of the hours at the end.
Oh, it was a crazy drive, but I think this was completely a team effort. We did great pit stops. Kudos to the mechanics. They did an impeccable job. Everything came together. All the drivers, we drove a great race. It was fun.
Great race, great race.
Yeah, really. Everything that Peter says, great team, great drivers. You know, we worked a lot. The pit stop guys as well. We trained a lot on the pit stops, and you know, hard work pays off. And finally, we did it.
Thanks, Jeff and Peter. I'm going to try and go grab a word with the man who makes it all possible. If I can find him. Here we go. It's Chris. Chris, come here. Let's get Chris. Oh, the tears in the eyes for the win.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure watching somewhere in a hot beach somewhere is Sandrine. Do you have any words for Sandrine?
Yeah. Would have been great if she was here now.
How big a cocktail do you think she's having?
Oh, it will be a very big one this evening for sure. A very big one, yes.
Congratulations, a great result. In fact, I think the biggest compliment I can give you is you made this seem really easy.
The overall package was good, and I think in Creventic it's not to be the fastest car on track every time, but it's to do the good pit stops, have the right drivers, don't make mistakes.
That seems to be the one. Chris, congratulations, fantastic as a Haas RT team and manager. Me and my camera person are going to meander into Pit Park Ferme now and see if we can pick up some other happy people.
some very happy people. And you see the effort that goes in all week to this. You know, we cover the qualifying and the race, but there is a lot of preparation that goes in to get the car absolutely dialed.
It's not Chris's first barbecue, and yet tears in his eyes there because he knows, he understands, we understand, Chris, the effort that you guys and girls put into this. And there's a lot of energy goes into putting a race car on a track. Not winning a race, just putting a race car on a track. So when you do win, when it does go well for you, that's the emotion that you feel. You can't help it. It is absolutely awesome to see that.
I would imagine the emotions in the Van Berlo family right now will be running pretty high, because this is something that they have done once in the past at Spa, driving together. Glenn and his brother Kai and their father Marcel, and they have clubbed together today to go racing, and they have dominated a pretty stellar 992 field, I think it must be said. In terms of quality, there's a lot of quality entries in 992, and they were in a class above, and they've done it together. Amazing stuff from them. And also congratulations to the Vortex crew at GTX, a real stalwart. Creventic wouldn't be the same without Vortex.
No, it would not.
Part of it. They even run in orange for us.
Absolutely.
The proper colours of Creventic. And indeed, Venture Engineering, they've strengthened their lead at the top of the GT4 standings, and well, they're going to be tough to beat in the championship to claim that crown, as Mathis Lismont brings the Haas RT Audi growling into the holding area, into the winner's enclosure. He unstraps the belts, ready to get out and celebrate with the crew. And what a reception for Mathis Lismont. Brilliant stuff. I don't think I've heard such a big noise.
Neither have I.
Few people.
Yeah.
It's a crew of 8 people, and a big roar for Mathis Lismont. A big hug from his teammate Jeff Michiels and Peter Quellings. Brilliant stuff from them. Big hugs all round. There is more than a few tears around the Haas RT crew.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they've had a win, actually, come to think of it. They're an ever-present figure in the Creventic paddock, but it's a while since they've been on the top step, and that is exactly where they're climbing to now. I have to say, Mathis Lismont, I love his helmet design. The white and the blue on that, with the blue felt on the inside, love it. Probably not felt now, it's probably much more sophisticated material, but the blue inside.
Some traffic jam issues with the cars going to park firm. Mate, a quick word with Mathis. Congratulations, great response and reaction from your team there. That was a win that certainly means something.
Yeah, it's nice for the team. I know what they had to endure last year with having to abandon the race at 10 hours. So this one feels sweet. First time with Haas as well. Hopefully there's some more in the future. We'll see. But I enjoyed it a lot. Really nice track, really nice championship. Yeah, just really nice. Enjoyed it a lot.
Car still feeling good at 12 hours. We saw a lot of teams with brake problems and various other issues.
We changed our front brakes. It was needed, so we changed the front brakes, but for the rest it was fine. Car had 0 issues at all. Yeah, mega performance, to be honest.
Great, thank you. So second place overall and the winner in AM. So a quick word with the Huber team. Got Kraus Backer there, he's still got a helmet. And so we get the Pro-Am team, sorry, Pro-Am, one in Pro-Am. Thank you for the help there. Fantastic result there for the team. Klaus, an absolute star.
Yeah, that was a fantastic race after the 2 not so good races in the beginning of the year. We're finally there where we think we belong to, and the team is super happy. P2 after 12 hours. What more can you want in racing? Yeah, we're super happy.
It ended up being quite a difficult race. A lot of teams having issues with their cars, needing to do brake changes. Was it actually quite smooth for your team?
Yes, we have an experience. Obviously, braking and at these hot temperatures is an issue, but we never really experienced anything that we really worried about. So, yeah, it's a great car, super reliable. We're very happy.
Great stuff, thank you indeed. Let's see if I can grab a word with the man himself, the man at the hour. Klaus, can you go a quick word? I suppose the camera's just here. You did what you could do, but there weren't enough laps to make up the distance.
Yeah, I mean, we tried, of course. In the end, I don't know what was the gap, but in the end, we were a bit too short. We gave everything. Congrats to the 21, to the Audi. I mean, they did a great job today. But we won the class, which was of course the first goal. And when we saw a chance that we can also go for the overall victory, for sure we tried everything. But in the end, to be honest, we were quite tight also with the brakes. Already some hours before the race, and we thought we have also to change it. But luckily we could make it until the end. As I said, we tried everything. We even did not took tire for the last 40 minutes. Yeah.
It must be quite nice, though, as a driver to be going out and told, look, go as fast as you can and we'll work around it and just try and get there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was honestly, I really enjoyed it. I did 4 stints today. Yeah, it was good fun. And in the end also, I mean, to finish this day with class victory in P2 overall, it's yeah, nice and we will enjoy it.
Great stuff, thank you, Klaus. So we're going to meander across to the left now. We'll find our the friends at Redon. It gives me a first chance at the whole meeting to talk to my young friend, Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth, congratulations, 3rd overall for the team.
Sorry, I don't...
It's not difficult, it's 3rd overall for the team.
Yeah.
2nd in class.
Yeah.
Entirely down to you.
Yeah, no, really appreciate a good result. We struggle a bit with too many penalties, so it's not so good. No, but the team make a brilliant job. No issue on the car, no scrap, no touching more or less, and yeah, very good endurance race for us.
And how many of those penalties were down to you?
The kids doing a mega job. I do the best I can, because for me it's such a funny story. I know Yannick and Ayrton since they are small kids, so seeing them in Pampers and now driving together, for me it's so much fun. I won with the dad in a time far ago, the 24 years old. So for me it's a family team coming back to a good friend, and I'm really enjoying it.
Great stuff, thank you. Let's go we're there, Tim. We had a kind of chat with him last night. Last night we were having beers together. In a few moments we'll have champagne, well, sort of champagne, semi-champagne, probably sparkling wine, on the podium together. So it's worked out quite well for you, isn't it?
Actually, a bit disappointed, to be honest. We're here to win it. Lost some time. All credit to the Haas guys. They were very quick all race long. So we fought for it, but it was not good enough.
Oh, it's pretty good, though. Well done, by the way. Well done for the Red Ant team. We're going to meander down this way. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up some of the other people. There's the winner in the AM class. But Hambrick, congratulations, a winning class.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great race for us. 12 hours through with Nick and Tracy, unbelievable.
Yeah, they seemed like quite a more difficult race than people were thinking. A lot of brake problems on those 992s. I mean, and people changing the whole time. So what looked quite simple ended up being quite complicated.
Yeah, it's almost a race against time, kind of, you know, and yeah, we knew that from the start that we would have difficulties with brake change. We tried to do it with one, but in the end we had to change twice, but it worked in our favor, and yeah, and then we won it, so it doesn't really matter how many times we change.
As I said, Tracy, you won it. A more complicated race than people were expecting, but that green machine was always up front of class.
You know, the car ran well all day long. We had a few little minor interior cockpit problems, but other than that, the car was great.
How much fun is it to when you get together a team like this, you manage to get them onto the podium, then you actually win the class? Because it's not every week, is it? It's not every race. You have to really fight for these wins.
You know, it's surprisingly, this year has been a wonderful year for us, and Lucas and his team have done a great job preparing the car. We've been very fortunate. We were very fortunate last race. We were very fortunate this race as well, but I think there's a lot to be said for being well prepared.
So thank you, Tracy. We're going to meander across to our GT4 winners. Well, they won the thing. Nigel, we can't let you go because obviously you have won GT4 and you've won Spirit of the Race, and it's been how many? How would you Neville? Sorry, not Nigel. Neville, how would you sum up the day really for the team?
I think it's been a really good performance. We've Chris and I have done more driving than we've ever done before, and the whole team deserved the award. To be fair, we've had a really good team performance. Although we got nobody to race to, we finished, what was it, 13th? So we did okay.
And of course, onward and upwards to races where there will be competition with this big learning behind you.
Yeah. So it's really useful for us to get so much drive time. So yeah, Paul Ricard.
Great stuff. And this week we wonder about, the Van Berlo family over there, who have won, of course, in their class as well. Family Van Berlo, congratulations. A strong class win for the three of you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it must be nice to win this event with your family.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, last time we did a race with 3 of us was in 2020. So.
And did you win that one?
We didn't. Oh. So it's actually the first race that we win with 3 of us. So. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Big thanks to everyone from Bascooter for everything that they executed perfectly. Thanks to my father and Kai for the stints as well. Yeah, now we're going to enjoy it.
Kai, nice to be racing back in Europe again?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it never disappoints, especially with these guys. I mean, as Glenn said, it's been 5 years ago. Spa wasn't the most successful one 5 years ago, but this week we executed very well. We were quick in practice, quick in the race as well. Glenn did a great job. My dad did a great job, so fun to share the podium with him.
Great stuff, and I think the podium is the next thing, everyone. So, right, guys, that's the Parc Fermé. I'm getting a kind of a go upstairs from Peter Fry, so I'm going to go upstairs and I'll hand back to you to restart the podiums.
Thank you, Nick. Great job. Great hustle there, getting in to speak to all these class winners who've all got a story to tell after that race. And interesting comment as well from Ayrton Redant, who was saying, you know, I was like, oh, I'm disappointed with third. We want to be up on the top step of the podium. I love that. I love that. They want more all the time. Try to get to the very top, but it's a good result though for Red Hunt Racing. I think on reflection they will be very pleased with that. There's a new project with the AMG GT3 for them, moving up from the 992 class. I think overall is a good story. Likewise for Proton Huber, who had a couple of difficult races to start the season, up on the podium and a dominant Pro-Am class win. But Haas RT, we've seen them win in Creventic before. It's been a little while, but they are back on the top step of the podium with that glorious light blue, yellow and red machine. And it was Mathis Lismont who had to take that last stint and bring home that Audi R8. So, final results then here at Misano, with Haas RT coming home top of the shop ahead of the 73 Proton Huber competition Porsche, and making it 3 manufacturers in the top 3. It's the Red Ant Mercedes. 4th place and winners in AM, don't forget, the Duta Racing Audi, just ahead of the 5th place car, Scuderia Praha Ferrari. 2nd place in AM, another solid weekend for Hoffer Racing and the Kroll and Prince families, with the Van Berlo team in the 992 class, winning the class and coming home 7th overall. Quite amazing. Era Motorsport did a very quick repair of a power steering pump to come home in 8th. Then it was Krone Racing, the winners in 992 AM, in 9th. And in 10th, Seb Leger Racing still getting on the podium despite an exploded brake disc. Quite amazing, getting on that 992 podium. Neunun Elf were 11th, with Homeguard Motorsport having to recover from the car grinding to a halt out on track 3/4 of the way through the race. They come home in 12th overall. And your GT4 winners, 13th overall, Venture Engineering with their Mercedes. Ajit Kumar Racing, a story of maybe what could have been for them, unfortunately, a gearbox change having to take place. They were 14th, then it was Scuderia Farron in 15th. Continental Racing by Simpson, again, another big repair for them. That left them 16th. Red Camel Jordan's winner in Mugello, winner in Spa. It wasn't the treble, unfortunately. They come home in 17th position. 18th was the GTX winner, the Vortex, not unfortunately getting to the flag for Milner Motorsport, for Viper Niza Racing, and indeed for E2P Racing with their Aston Martin, rounding out our 21 cars here at the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. So after 12 hours of racing, my oh my, were there some highlights. We kicked off in beautiful sunshine on the Adriatic coast and enjoyed it all the way through the race. It was the leading Proton Huber competition Porsche that tore off at the front, but unfortunately an early issue for the E2P Aston Martin getting together with the Seb Leger Porsche Cup car caused damage which would eventually take them out of the running. Turn 4 causing a few issues for several drivers, including Miroslav Weibo in the Scuderia Praha Ferrari. Pit work always a concern, and the hammers even coming out at one point for Red Camel Jordans. Continental Racing had their trials and tribulations, unfortunately, and unfortunately a little bit of work late on. Likewise for Red Ant Racing and Ajit Kumar having to replace a gearbox, while Red Camel also having damage which cost them time. But as the race wore on, it was Haas RT really who started to hold a tighter grip over the race, despite being chased down by several characters, including the Red Ant Racing Mercedes AMG. But in the end, Haas RT held on, and they are your winners of the MISANO 12 Hours. So the drivers making their way up towards the podium for the celebrations. So let's get right down. They're ready to go with Nick Damon.
Hello, and it's time for the podium celebrations. Hello, everybody. Nothing. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with the... Oh, we are. No, Peter. Oh, fingers in the ear. That's not a good sign. Close.
But how great is it, Nick, to see so many people down here waiting to see everyone come out?
No, we're ready again now. But it was great, Diane, absolutely. Okay. Okay, so it's time now for the podium, and we start with the overall result, and the overall winners and second and third place, the 12 Hours MISANO, sponsored by Michelin. It's the second Michelin 12 Hours MISANO, and in third place, it's the 93 Red Ant Racing Machine of Yannick Redon, Ayrton Redon, Kobe de Bruyne, and Kenneth Haya. In second place overall, it's the 73 Proton Huber competition of Jörg Dreislow, Manuel Leik, Klaus Bachler, and Konstantin Dressler. And your winners of the Michelin 12 Hours MISANO 2025, Car 21, Haas RT, Peter Gronix, Jeff Michaelis, and Matisse Lismont. And now the anthem. Oh, hang on, wait a second, get up. And now time for the national anthem from the winning entrant. Congratulations. And now to present the trophies, we have Julien Panizzi and Aurélien Biguet from Michelin. First to our third place finishers, that's Red Ant Racing. Next to the second place team of Proton Huber competition. And now our winners. Haas RT. But there are many, many more prizes to come. Yeah, the winners' trophies. The winners also receive special engraved homologato watches. And of course, the overall winner and the GT Pro Championship also receive, yes, now the very big trophy. Can we all hold, now Han, can we all hold our trophies up high for the pictures? And we're going to rescue the watches. Hang on, we're going to rescue the watches. And hang on, and go, champagne! Thank you, gentlemen. We can clear the... We have many, many more podiums to go. Or podia. Some of that has not been drunk, has been smuggled away for the evening. Okay, we're going to reset the podium for our next presentation, which will be the GT3 Pro-Am class. Okay, it's time now for the presentation for the Pro-Am class of GT3 for the Michelin 12-hour MISANO. And in third place, number 81, Era Motorsport, Dwight Merriman, Kyle Tilley, Nico Verdonk and Ryan DL. Oh, it was a child, that could be worrying. In second place, it's the 56 Scuderia Praha of Miroslav Weibo, Matthias Weibo, Joseph Kral and Denis Wozek. And your winners of the GT3 Pro-Am class, number 73, Proton Huber competition, that's Jörg Dreislow, Manuel Leik, Klaus Bachler and Konstantin Dresler. And once again, to present the trophies, it's Julien Paniza and Aurélien Biguet from Michelin. First to our third place finishers, who are Era Motorsport. And now to our second place finisher, Scuderia Praha. And our Pro-Am winners, Proton Huber competition. We also have, of course, the specially engraved Omologato watches to be handed out as well. Peter Fry on watch duty here. Much. And of course, the pièce de résistance. It is the very, very large trophy. Gentlemen, could you hold your trophies high for the cameras, please? The next podium will be for the GT3 AM class of the Michelin 12-hour MISANO. So for the GT3 AM class, in third place, number 69, Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport, Vasily Volodkin, Andrei Solukaves and David Pogosian. In second place, it's the number 11 Hofer Racing of Michael Knoll, Chantal Prince, Alexander Prince and Maximilian Partel. And the winner in GT AM, it's the number 71 Utah Racing Audi of Tim Muller, Nicolas Michelin and Arunis Kekaukes. And once again, we have Julien, Aurélien and Aurélien to award the trophies, starting with our third place finishers, Era Motorsport. No? Oh, sorry, third place. Sorry, third place, Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport. I do apologise. Well done, David. I misread the piece of paper. So it was the right people got the trophy. It was the wrong name. Then second place is Hofer Racing. I'm glad someone's awake. And our winners, Utah Racing. And Utah Racing, of course, will also receive their specially engraved Homologato watches. As printed by Peter Fry. And the very, very important, very, very large trophy. Gentlemen, you can all gather together and hold your trophies high, please. Oh. And we will now, oh, more pointing. And we'll now rescue the watches. Oh, Chantal straight off with the booze. It's time for champagne, and everyone's drinking it rather than spraying it. Oh, Peter hit there with a side shot. Some quite dangerous champagne work going on there. Our next presentation will be for the 992 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup for the overall. That'll be up in a couple of seconds. So for the 992 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup at the 12 hours of Michelin 12 hours of Misano, in third place it's the 888 Seb Lejoux Racing of Sébastien Lejoux, Stéphane Perrin, Jeremy Faligand and Paul Meyer. In second place, it's the 907 RPM Racing of Tracy Cron, Nicholas Jonsson and Philip Hamprecht. And your winners in Porsche 911 GT3 Cup overall, it's the 925 of Van Berlo Motorsport by Bascoten Racing. It's Marcel Van Berlo, Glenn Van Berlo and Kai Van Berlo. And And once again, Julien and Aurélien will be awarding the trophies from Michelin, starting with our third place finishers, and that's Seb Lejeune Racing. And now to our second place finishers, RPM Racing. This is the overall, remember, second place overall, RPM Racing. And now to our overall winners in Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, who are, of course, Van Berlo Motorsport by Bas Koten Racing. And it's now time for a very quick Peter Fry to come out the back and award those engraved, specially, Omologato watches. And another job for our Michelin men, it's to award the very, very big trophy. Thank you, gentlemen. You can hold your trophies up high and get in together. Raise those trophies. And Peter, if you could rescue those watches. Watch rescuing first, and then it's time, gentlemen, for the champagne party! Our next presentation will be for the 992 AM class, so the amateur side of the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup. Okay, and now the 992 AM class of the Michelin 12 Hours of Misano. And in third place, it's the 911 911 racing team of Jörg Goda, Ralph OM, Moritz OM, and Martin Schulte. In second place in 992 AM, it's the 888 Seb Lejeune racing team. It's Sebastian Lejeune, Stéphane Perrin, Jeremy Falligand, and Paul Meyer. And your winners in 992 AM, it's number 907 RPM Racing. It's Tracy Cron, Nicholas Jonsson, and Philip Hamprecht. And to award the trophies, why, it's those Michelin men, Julien Paniza and Aurélien Biguet, starting with our third place finishers, 911 Racing. And in second place, it's the 888 of Seb Lejeune Racing. Oh, it's there. And our winners, of course, 907 RPM Racing. And also, of course, their specially engraved Omologato watches presented by Peter Fry. And not forgetting the very, very big trophy, which will be presented by Michelin again. Gentlemen, once again, you can hold the trophies up high and get together for the photographs. Peter, if you could rescue the watches, please. Peter on watch rescue duty. Gentlemen, you have more champagne to throw over each other. Congratulations to our 992 AM drivers. Next up is our penultimate trophy presentation, which will be for the GTX Special GT cars. So, in GTX, the Special GT3 cars, our winner was the 701 Vortex V8 of Leonard Amadouche, Philippe Bonnel and Cyril Calmon. And our friends from Michelin will award the trophies to our winners. My friend Peter will award the watches to the winners from Omologato. And of course, there is one more special trophy, the very, very large class winners trophy. And if you could raise your trophies. Are they saying no to the champagne, are they? This is sensible. You can tell this is a mature team. They're going to drink the champagne. Congratulations, team. Well done, Vortex. Thank you very much. Bit of selfie work going on the podium now. Thank you, team. And now it's time for our final presentation, which will be for the GT4, the GT4 homologated cars. Just let's just set up the podium for that. So in GT4, the 421 Venture team, they've already won the spirit of the race. It could get no better. The drivers were Neville Jones, Christopher Jones and Matthew George. I think we have virtually the whole team up here from Venture. Congratulations, our GT4 winners! Careful. To present the trophies to the drivers, it is our very good friends of Michelin, Julien Paniza and Aurélien Biguet. The watches are presented, of course, by Peter Fry. The final very large trophy from our friends from Michelin again. What's the watch champagne interface here? Do you need to remove the watches or what?
Yeah, I tried.
And now the champagne! Thank you very much, everybody. That was our final presentation for the Michelin 12 Hours MISANO 2025. I hope to see you all at Paul Ricard for the next round of the 24-hour series, the Michelin 12 Hours of Paul Ricard, first week of July in sunny southern France. Goodbye!